Right now, as you are watching this, three separate weather disasters are converging on the United States at the same time. A violent tornado outbreak, a life-threatening blizzard, and a historic heat dome that has never been recorded this early in American history. Over 180 million Americans are in the direct path of at least one of these events. And I am about to walk you through every single one of them, city by city, hour by hour, so you know exactly what is heading your way and exactly when it arrives. But here is the number that stopped me cold this morning. 42 degrees below average. That is what Minneapolis is about to experience Tuesday morning. 42 degrees below where temperatures should be in mid-March. At the same time, Phoenix, Arizona is about to hit 107 degrees Fahrenheit. That is a 149-degree temperature spread across the same country at the same time in March. That does not happen. Except it is happening right now. Stay with me through the next few minutes because at the 5-minute mark, I am going to break down the exact timeline for over 270 cities across America. You will know the hour your storm begins, the hour it peaks, and the hour it ends. And if you are watching from the East Coast, do not skip ahead, because what is coming for you Monday afternoon is potentially more dangerous than what the Midwest is getting Sunday night. I will explain exactly why in just a moment. Now let me set the stage for what is happening right now, because the atmosphere is doing something that meteorologists almost never see. We have a jet stream that has gone completely wild. Picture the jet stream as a river of air that flows from west to east across the country. Normally it moves in gentle waves, like a lazy river at a water park. But right now, that jet stream is making near vertical plunges, followed by straight-up climbs. Think of the most terrifying roller coaster you have ever been on. That is what the jet stream looks like right now. And when the jet stream does this, it creates extreme weather on both sides of those peaks and valleys. Cold air crashes down on one side, hot air surges up on the other, and right in the middle, where those two air masses collide, you get violent storms. This is not a theory. This is happening in real time. And the collision zone stretches from Shreveport, Louisiana, all the way up to Indianapolis, Indiana. Over 17 million people are sitting directly inside an enhanced risk zone for severe weather tomorrow, Sunday, March 15th. And that number only accounts for the people in the highest threat area. The total number of Americans who will be impacted by some form of dangerous weather over the next 5 days exceeds 180 million. Let me say that again. 180 million Americans are in the path of dangerous weather this week. That is more than half the country. Now, here is where it gets personal. I am going to break this down into three separate events because that is exactly what we are dealing with. Three overlapping disasters happening simultaneously. Event number one is the severe weather outbreak hitting the South and Midwest on Sunday. Event number two is the life-threatening blizzard burying the upper Midwest. And event number three is the historic, record-shattering heat dome baking the entire western United States. Each one of these would be a headline story on its own. All three happening at the same time is almost unprecedented. Let us start with event number one, the severe weather outbreak, because this is the most immediately dangerous threat. Tomorrow, Sunday afternoon, a massive line of severe thunderstorms is going to erupt across a huge corridor stretching from the Ark-La-Mis region, that is Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi, right up through the lower Ohio Valley. We are talking about cities like Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Clarksville, Tennessee, Shreveport, Louisiana, Little Rock, Arkansas, Paducah, Kentucky, Evansville, Indiana, and all the way up to Indianapolis. This is not going to be your typical spring thunderstorm. This is going to be a violent, fast-moving squall line packing hurricane-force winds. 75 miles per hour or greater. That is Category 1 hurricane wind strength embedded inside a line of thunderstorms that is going to stretch for hundreds of miles. And here is the part that makes this particularly dangerous. This is going to be a nighttime event. The storms are going to start firing Sunday afternoon, roughly between 2 and 4 in the afternoon Central Time, but they are going to rapidly escalate and intensify as evening falls. By 8 or 9 at night, a fully developed squall line is going to be racing eastward through the Mid-South, and that line is going to continue pushing through the overnight hours when most people are asleep. This is the nightmare scenario for severe weather. When tornadoes and destructive winds hit in the dark, when people cannot see what is coming, fatalities go up dramatically. Now let me explain why tornadoes are on the table here, because I want you to understand the mechanics. There is a rapidly deepening low-pressure system that is going to be tracking from the Iowa-Missouri border up through lower Michigan. As this system deepens, it is going to drag a very sharp cold front across the Mississippi and Ohio valleys. Ahead of that cold front, unseasonably warm, moist air is surging northward from the Gulf of Mexico. The dew points are extremely high for this time of year. We have a wide-open warm sector loaded with moisture and energy. Now, here is the critical detail. Before the main squall line arrives, we could see discrete supercell thunderstorms fire up out ahead of the line. These are the individual rotating storms that are the most capable of producing large, violent tornadoes. The low-level wind shear, which is the change in wind speed and direction near the ground, is going to be off the charts tomorrow. Even if we do not get discrete supercells, even if all we see is a solid line of storms, that extreme wind shear means we are going to see embedded tornadoes spinning up within the line itself. Quick spin-up tornadoes that form with almost no warning and are incredibly dangerous at night. The Storm Prediction Center has placed a 10% hatched area for tornadoes across this region. For those who are not familiar with how the risk scale works, a 10% hatched area means there is a significant probability of strong, potentially violent tornadoes. That is as serious as it gets for a day one outlook. When you see that hatched tornado area, the forecasters are telling you that this has the potential to be a high-end, life-threatening event. But I want to be clear about something. For most people in this threat zone, the primary danger is not going to be tornadoes. It is going to be straight-line winds. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a 45% probability of significant damaging wind gusts. That is an extraordinarily high number. What that translates to in real terms is hurricane-force wind gusts smashing through neighborhoods, snapping trees in half, flipping over vehicles, and causing widespread power outages across a massive area. I am most concerned about the area along and east of Interstate 55 in Illinois, running south through the Mid-South. This corridor is going to take the full brunt of the squall line. If you live anywhere along Interstate 55 from Springfield, Illinois, down through Memphis, Tennessee, your Sunday night is going to be violent. And here is what makes this storm even more tricky. It is not just going to be windy when the storm line hits. It is going to be windy all day Sunday. Sustained winds of 20 to 30 miles per hour are going to be blowing ahead of the front throughout the afternoon. That steady wind is going to be loosening up tree branches, swaying trees back and forth, working those root systems loose in the soil. Then, when the squall line arrives with those 75-mile-per-hour gusts on top of the already windy conditions, trees that might have survived a sudden gust are going to come crashing down because they have been weakened all day. And then, after the line passes, the wind does not stop. Cold air is going to come rushing in behind the front, and we are going to see another round of dangerous winds as the cold air mass replaces the warm air. So you have three phases of wind: windy before the storm, extremely dangerous winds during the storm, and continued cold, strong winds after the storm. This is a prolonged wind event, and the power outages are going to be widespread and long-lasting. Now, here is where I need to deliver on that promise I made. Let me give you the city-by-city breakdown. This is the part you have been waiting for. I am going to go through over 270 locations so you know exactly what to expect and when. Starting with the South and Midwest severe weather event on Sunday, March 15th. Shreveport, Louisiana. Storms begin arriving around 2 in the afternoon Central Time. Peak danger from 3 to 6 in the evening. Damaging winds and possible tornadoes. The worst should push east of you by 7 or 8 at night. Monroe, Louisiana. Expect storms between 3 and 7 in the evening Central Time. Peak danger around 4 to 6. Damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour possible. Jackson, Mississippi. Storms arrive between 4 and 8 in the evening Central Time. The squall line should push through between 5 and 7. Prepare for power outages. Meridian, Mississippi. Storms hit between 5 and 9 in the evening. Keep your weather radio on and your phone charged. Tupelo, Mississippi. Storms between 4 and 8 in the evening. This area is in the enhanced risk zone. Have your safe room identified before sunset. Little Rock, Arkansas. Storms begin by 2 in the afternoon. Peak danger from 3 to 6. The squall line should clear by 8 in the evening. Wind gusts to 70 miles per hour. Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Similar timing to Little Rock, 3 to 7 in the evening. Have multiple ways to receive warnings. Jonesboro, Arkansas. Storms from 3 to 7 in the evening. You are on the northern edge of the highest tornado threat area, Memphis, Tennessee. This is a critical area. Storms arrive between 4 and 8 in the evening Central Time. Peak danger from 5 to 7. Hurricane-force wind gusts are likely. Tornadoes possible. This is going to be a loud, violent passage of storms. Have your safe room ready. Keep shoes by your bed in case you need to move through debris, Nashville, Tennessee. Storms arrive between 6 and 10 in the evening Central Time. Peak danger from 7 to 9. The squall line will be fully mature by the time it reaches Nashville. Expect sustained wind gusts of 60 to 75 miles per hour. Power outages are almost guaranteed. Clarksville, Tennessee. Storms from 5:30 to 9:30 in the evening. You are directly in the highest risk corridor. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Storms between 8 in the evening and midnight. The line will be weakening slightly as it moves through, but still capable of damaging winds. Knoxville, Tennessee. Storms overnight roughly between 10 at night and 2 in the morning. This is the late night phase. Have those alerts set up to wake you. Huntsville, Alabama. Storms between 5 and 9 in the evening Central Time. You are inside the enhanced risk zone. All hazards on the table, including tornadoes. Birmingham, Alabama. Storms between 6 and 10 in the evening. Damaging winds are the primary threat. Montgomery, Alabama. Storms from 7 in the evening to 11 at night. Winds could gust to 60 miles per hour. Mobile, Alabama. Storms overnight between 10 at night and 2 in the morning. Less tornado risk, but still damaging wind potential. Paducah, Kentucky. Storms between 5 and 9 in the evening Central Time. You are in the heart of the severe risk area. This is an extremely dangerous setup for your location. Bowling Green, Kentucky. Storms between 7 and 11 at night. Remember the December 2021 tornado. Have your plan ready. Lexington, Kentucky. Storms between 8 at night and midnight. The line will still be packing significant winds. Louisville, Kentucky. Storms from 7:30 to 11:30 at night. Winds gusting to 60 miles per hour or higher. Evansville, Indiana. Storms between 6 and 10 in the evening Central Time. You are in the enhanced risk zone. All hazards possible. Indianapolis, Indiana. Storms between 7 and 11 at night Eastern Time. The squall line should still be strong. Damaging winds likely. Terre Haute, Indiana. Storms from 6 to 10 in the evening, right in the path of the strongest part of the line. Springfield, Illinois. Storms between 4 and 8 in the evening Central Time. You are along Interstate 55. This is the zone I am most concerned about. Champaign, Illinois. Storms between 5 and 9 in the evening. Peoria, Illinois. Storms from 4 to 8 in the evening. Strong wind gusts ahead of and with the squall line. Carbondale, Illinois. Storms between 3 and 7 in the evening. Southern Illinois is in the enhanced risk zone. St. Louis, Missouri. Storms between 4 and 8 in the evening Central Time. The metropolitan area should see the squall line push through between 5 and 7. Expect significant winds and the possibility of isolated tornadoes. Springfield, Missouri. Storms between 3 and 7 in the evening. You are on the western edge of the severe risk area. Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Storms from 4 to 8 in the evening. Right along the Mississippi River, this area could see some of the strongest gusts. Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Storms 3 to 7 in the evening. Enhanced risk for your area. Now let me pause here because I know some of you are wondering about the East Coast. Do not go anywhere. The East Coast forecast is coming and it is critical. But first, do not miss what I'm about to tell you about the blizzard, because what is about to happen in the upper Midwest is going to be one of the most impactful winter storms in years. Event number 2, the life-threatening blizzard. While the South is dealing with tornadoes and destructive winds, the cold side of this same monster storm system is going to unleash an absolute blizzard across the upper Midwest. This is going to be a storm that people talk about for years, possibly decades in some areas. Here is why this blizzard is going to be so extreme. That same rapidly deepening low-pressure system that is generating severe weather to the south is going to track right over the Great Lakes. As it does, it is going to pull enormous amounts of moisture northward from the Gulf of Mexico and slam it into the bitterly cold Arctic air pouring down from Canada. Normally, winter storms up in the upper Midwest have plenty of cold air, but limited moisture. This storm is different. because we have severe weather generating a massive supply of Gulf moisture on the southern side. Some of that moisture is going to get wrapped around and pulled up into the blizzard zone on the northern side. The result is going to be snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour. I want you to let that sink in for a moment. 2 to 3 inches of snow falling every single hour. That means in the span of a typical workday, you could see 18 to 24 inches of accumulation. And this is not going to be light, fluffy snow. This is going to be relatively dense, heavy March snow that is going to weigh down power lines and tree branches. But the snow is only half the story. Wind gusts during this blizzard are forecast to reach 50 to 60 miles per hour. When you combine 2 to 3 inch per hour snowfall rates with 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts, you get true blizzard conditions, near zero visibility, massive snowdrifts, travel that is not just dangerous but literally impossible. This is the kind of storm where if you are on the road, you are not getting to your destination. You are getting stuck. And in temperatures that are going to be well below freezing with wind chills that could be life-threatening, being stuck on the road could be a survival situation. Let me give you the city-by-city blizzard breakdown. Marquette, Michigan. This is ground zero. You are looking at potentially 41 inches of snow by 2 in the afternoon Monday. And that is before lake effect bands kick in afterward, which could add another 6 inches on top. Blizzard conditions from Sunday morning through Monday night. Do not travel. Period. Iron River, Michigan. Potentially 34 inches of total accumulation. Blizzard conditions Sunday through Monday. Escanaba, Michigan. 34 inches of snow possible. The Upper Peninsula is going to be absolutely buried. Plan for multiple days without power. Marinette, Wisconsin. 29 inches possible. Blizzard conditions Sunday afternoon through Monday morning. Wausau, Wisconsin. This is in the heart of the heaviest snow band. 20 to 30 inches possible with blizzard conditions. Travel will be impossible from Sunday morning through Monday evening. Green Bay, Wisconsin. 15 to 20 inches with blizzard conditions. The winds are going to create massive drifts even after the snow stops. Eau Claire, Wisconsin. 20 to 28 inches. You are in the hot spot for this blizzard. Get your supplies now if you have not already. La Crosse, Wisconsin, 15 to 22 inches with sustained winds of 40 miles per hour. Madison, Wisconsin, 12 to 18 inches with high winds. The capital city is going to be shut down. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 8 to 14 inches with gusts to 50 miles per hour. Significant drifting and power outages expected. Minneapolis, Minnesota. The totals have come up to 24 inches. Let me repeat that. 2 feet of snow in Minneapolis with 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This is going to be one of the biggest March snowstorms on record for the Twin Cities. Conditions deteriorate rapidly Sunday morning. The absolute worst hits Sunday afternoon through Monday morning. Do not be on the roads. St. Paul, Minnesota, same as Minneapolis, 24 inches with blizzard conditions. Duluth, Minnesota, 20 to 28 inches. Blizzard conditions from Sunday into Tuesday. This is going to be a multi-day event for the Northland. St. Cloud, Minnesota, 18 to 24 inches with blizzard conditions. Rochester, Minnesota, 15 to 20 inches. Dangerous travel Sunday afternoon through Monday. Mankato, Minnesota, 12 to 18 inches with high winds. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 12 to 18 inches. Eastern South Dakota is on the western edge of the heavy snow band. Aberdeen, South Dakota, 8 to 12 inches with strong winds. Fargo, North Dakota, 10 to 15 inches with dangerous wind chills Monday morning. Temperatures dropping to well below zero. Grand Forks, North Dakota, 8 to 12 inches. Bismarck, North Dakota, 6 to 10 inches with strong winds. Blowing snow will reduce visibility even after the snow stops. Rapid City, South Dakota, 4 to 8 inches. The western Dakotas get less snow, but the wind and cold will still be brutal. Now, here is something a lot of people do not realize. After the blizzard, the cold air pouring over the Great Lakes is going to generate lake effect snow bands. That means areas east and south of the Great Lakes that might think they dodged the worst of the blizzard are going to get an additional round of heavy snow. Cities like Traverse City, Michigan, Muskegon, Michigan, Grand Rapids, Michigan, South Bend, Indiana, Erie, Pennsylvania, Buffalo, New York, Syracuse, New York, Watertown, New York. All of these places need to be prepared for an additional 6 to 12 inches of lake effect snow on top of whatever they get from the main storm. And the cold behind this storm is going to be absolutely shocking. On Tuesday morning, Minneapolis is going to be 42 degrees below average, single-digit temperatures below 0 Fahrenheit. With the wind chill, it is going to feel like -20 to -30. This is going to be the coldest air of the entire winter season, arriving in the middle of March, Des Moines, Iowa. 20 degrees below average Tuesday morning. Lows in the single digits, Chicago, Illinois. Lows in the single digits Tuesday morning. Wind chills below zero. This is after temperatures were in the 60s and 70s just days earlier. That temperature swing of 60 to 70 degrees in 48 hours is going to be physically shocking to the body. Green Bay, Wisconsin. Below zero Tuesday morning. Dangerous wind chills. The cold is even going to reach far to the south. Houston, Texas. New Orleans, Louisiana. Atlanta, Georgia. All of these cities are going to see temperatures 15 to 25 degrees below average early next week. It is not going to be life-threatening cold in those cities, but it is going to be a jarring reminder that winter is not done yet. Now, I know millions of you are watching from the East Coast and you have been patiently waiting. Here it comes. And I need you to pay very close attention because what I'm about to tell you is critical. Event number 3 for the East Coast. Actually, wait. Let me reframe that. The East Coast is getting hit by 2 events. First, the severe weather outbreak that is going to shift from the Midwest to the East Coast on Monday. And second, the flash freeze and dangerous cold that follows behind it. So the East Coast is essentially getting a 1-2 punch. On Monday, March 16th, that same powerful cold front that generates severe weather across the Midwest on Sunday is going to push all the way to the eastern seaboard, and it is going to bring an enhanced risk of severe weather with it. The Carolinas, Virginia, Maryland, and southern Pennsylvania are all in the crosshairs. Now, here's why I said the East Coast threat might actually be more substantial than what the Midwest gets on Sunday. If that cold front slows down even slightly, and there are some models suggesting it might, the sun is going to have plenty of time on Monday to heat the atmosphere over the Carolinas and mid-Atlantic. That daytime heating, combined with all the warm, moist air surging up the eastern seaboard, could create an incredibly unstable atmosphere. And when that cold front finally arrives and slams into all that instability, the storms could be explosive. We are talking about a massive squall line packing 60 to 70 mile per hour winds sweeping from the Piedmont region out to the coastal plain. The wind shear is going to support tornadoes, and there is actually a better chance of discrete supercell thunderstorms firing ahead of the line over here on the East Coast because the atmosphere is going to have more time to destabilize. Here is your East Coast city-by-city breakdown for Monday, March 16th, Raleigh, North Carolina. This is one of the cities I am watching most closely. Storms could arrive as early as 2 in the afternoon Eastern Time. If the cold front moves slowly, the worst could hit between 3 and 7 in the evening. That means your evening commute is going to be right in the danger zone. Damaging winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour. Tornadoes possible as the squall line crosses the Piedmont into the coastal plain. Charlotte, North Carolina. Storms arrive between 1 and 5 in the afternoon. Damaging winds and potential for isolated tornadoes. Durham, North Carolina, same timeline as Raleigh, 2 to 6 in the afternoon. Keep your weather alerts on. Greensboro, North Carolina, storms from 1 to 5 in the afternoon. You are in the enhanced risk area. Wilmington, North Carolina, storms between 4 and 8 in the evening. The coastal areas could see especially strong winds. Fayetteville, North Carolina, storms between 2 and 6 in the afternoon. Greenville, North Carolina, storms from 3 to 7 in the evening. Columbia, South Carolina, storms between 1 and 5 in the afternoon. Damaging winds likely. Charleston, South Carolina, storms from 3 to 7 in the evening. Strong to severe. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, storms from 4 to 8 in the evening. Greenville, South Carolina, storms between noon and 4 in the afternoon. You could see some of the earlier activity. Richmond, Virginia, storms between 3 and 7 in the evening. The squall line will be strong as it crosses central Virginia. Norfolk, Virginia, storms from 4 to 8 in the evening. Damaging winds possible along the coast. Virginia Beach, Virginia, same timing as Norfolk, 4 to 8 in the evening. Roanoke, Virginia, storms between 2 and 6 in the afternoon. Mountainous terrain could enhance storm strength. Lynchburg, Virginia, 2 to 6 in the afternoon. Stay alert. Washington, District of Columbia, storms between 4 and 8 in the evening. Your Monday evening commute is going to be impacted. Strong winds and heavy rain at minimum. Baltimore, Maryland, storms from 4 to 8 in the evening Eastern Time. If you live anywhere from Raleigh to Baltimore, your Monday evening drive home is going to be one of the most dangerous drives you take all year. I am not saying that to scare you. I am saying that to prepare you. Leave work early if you can, or stay late and let the storms pass. Annapolis, Maryland, Same timing as Baltimore, 4 to 8 in the evening, Wilmington, Delaware. Storms from 5 to 9 in the evening, Dover, Delaware. 5 to 9 in the evening, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Storms between 5 and 9 in the evening. The line will be weakening as it reaches this far north and east, but could still pack 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Storms between 4 and 8 in the evening. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Storms between 2 and 6 in the evening. You are closer to the Midwest event timeline, Scranton, Pennsylvania. Storms from 5 to 9 in the evening, mainly a wind event by this point, Trenton, New Jersey. 5 to 9 in the evening, Newark, New Jersey. Storms from 6 to 10 at night. The line should be weakening but still capable of damaging gusts. New York City, New York. Remember that on Wednesday of this past week, it was 86 degrees in Central Park, and people were walking around in shorts. By Thursday, it was snowing. On Monday evening, storms with potentially damaging winds moved through between 6 and 10 at night. And by Tuesday morning, temperatures are going to be in the 20s and 30s with wind chills in the teens. That is a temperature swing of over 60 degrees in less than a week. Weather whiplash at its most extreme, New Haven, Connecticut. Storms from 7 to 11 at night, weakening but still gusty. Hartford, Connecticut. 7 to 11 at night. Providence, Rhode Island. Storms from 7 to 11 at night. Boston, Massachusetts. Any storms reaching you will arrive between 8 at night and midnight Monday into Tuesday. By this point, the line will be significantly weakened, but gusty winds are still possible. The bigger story for Boston is the dramatic temperature drop Tuesday into Wednesday. Worcester, Massachusetts, 8 at night to midnight. Portland, Maine. Any residual storms between 9 at night and 1 in the morning. Minimal severe risk, but the cold behind the front will be significant. And before I move on, let me cover some additional Midwest and border state cities that I know a lot of you are watching from. Iowa City, Iowa. The main storm system tracks right over Iowa as it deepens explosively. Heavy snow on the north side, severe weather risk on the south side. If you are in Iowa City, you are right on the rain-snow line. Expect a mix of heavy rain, possibly some thunder, and gusty winds Sunday afternoon through evening, roughly 2 to 8 in the evening. Behind the front, temperatures plummet. Tuesday morning, low near 5 degrees, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Similar to Iowa City, right on the transition zone. Heavy rain and wind Sunday afternoon, then a flash freeze Sunday night into Monday. Ice could be a factor as temperatures drop below freezing while surfaces are still wet. Davenport, Iowa. On the Mississippi River, you are going to see the storm transition from rain to potentially some freezing rain to bitter cold. Sunday afternoon through Monday morning is your danger window, and the wind is going to be absolutely howling. Gusts to 50 miles per hour, Waterloo, Iowa. You are far enough north that snow is the primary concern. 8 to 14 inches possible with blizzard-like conditions Sunday into Monday. Mason City, Iowa. 12 to 18 inches of snow. True blizzard conditions. Do not travel Dubuque, Iowa. Heavy snow 10 to 16 inches right on the edge of the heaviest snow band. Blizzard conditions Sunday afternoon through Monday. And let me swing down to some Texas cities that a lot of you have been asking about. While Texas is not in the primary severe weather risk area for this particular event, the cold front passage is still going to be dramatic. Fort Worth, Texas. The cold front pushes through late Sunday night into Monday morning. Ahead of it, gusty south winds and mild temperatures in the 70s. Behind it, temperatures crash. By Monday afternoon, you are in the 40s. By Tuesday morning, the low 30s. That is a 40-degree drop. Lubbock, Texas. Cold front arrives Sunday night. Gusty winds. Temperatures drop from the upper 60s into the 20s by Monday night. If any moisture wraps around, you could see some light freezing precipitation. Amarillo, Texas. You already felt the front Friday and Saturday. Cold and windy through the weekend. Highs only in the 30s with wind chills in the teens and 20s. Midland, Odessa, Texas. Cold front late Sunday. Temperature drop of 30 to 40 degrees in 24 hours. Waco, Texas. Cold front Monday morning. Temperatures falling through the day. Possible thunderstorms along the front as it pushes through. Corpus Christi, Texas. The cold reaches the coast Monday afternoon. Temperatures drop from the upper 70s into the upper 40s. Not dangerous, but noticeable. Let me also address the Gulf Coast because I know people from the Mississippi Gulf Coast through the Florida Panhandle are watching. Biloxi, Mississippi. The squall line remnants push through late Sunday night into Monday morning, roughly midnight to 5 in the morning, gusty winds and heavy rain. Then clearing and cooler Monday afternoon, Gulfport, Mississippi, same timing as Biloxi, midnight to 5 in the morning, gusty winds possible. Hattiesburg, Mississippi, storm Sunday evening, 8 to midnight, damaging winds possible on the southern edge of the enhanced risk area, Laurel, Mississippi, same timing as Hattiesburg. Dothan, Alabama, storms Sunday night 9 to 1 in the morning Monday. Have your alerts set. Now, there is one more thing I need to address about the blizzard before I move on, because I have been getting a lot of questions about the ice storm potential. South and southeast of the main snow band across parts of lower Michigan, there is a 30 to 50% probability of receiving at least a quarter-inch of ice accumulation. A quarter-inch of ice does not sound like much, but let me tell you what a quarter-inch of ice does. It coats every surface. It turns roads into skating rinks. It snaps tree branches. It brings down power lines. And when you combine ice with the 50-mile-per-hour winds that are going to be blowing, you have a recipe for catastrophic power outages. Cities that need to watch for significant icing include Kalamazoo, Michigan, Battle Creek, Michigan, Jackson, Michigan, Ann Arbor, Michigan, Lansing, Michigan. These areas are on the southern edge of the snow band where temperatures could hover right around freezing as precipitation falls. That freezing rain zone is often the most dangerous part of a winter storm because it looks harmless until you step outside and realize every surface is coated in a sheet of glass. If you live in these areas, fill your bathtub with water before the storm in case you lose water pressure. Gather flashlights, candles, blankets, and non-perishable food. If you have a generator, make sure it is fueled up and that you know how to operate it safely outdoors. Never run a generator inside your home or garage. Carbon monoxide poisoning kills more people in winter storms than the storms themselves. Now let me pivot to the southeast because there are millions of people down there who also need timing. Atlanta, Georgia. This one is interesting. The main squall line from Sunday night's Midwest outbreak will clip the northern portions of the state late Sunday night into early Monday morning, roughly between midnight and 4 in the morning Eastern Time. Then a secondary wave of storms could fire Monday afternoon, so Atlanta essentially gets 2 rounds. Keep your alerts on for both periods. Savannah, Georgia, Monday afternoon and evening. Storms between 2 and 6 in the evening. Augusta, Georgia, Monday afternoon, 1 to 5. Macon, Georgia, Monday morning and again Monday afternoon. 2 separate rounds possible. Jacksonville, Florida, Monday afternoon into evening. 2 to 7 in the evening. Strong wind gusts possible. Tallahassee, Florida, Monday morning, 7 in the morning to noon. The trailing portion of Sunday night as cold front will sweep through. Orlando, Florida, Monday afternoon into evening, 2 to 8. Mainly a wind and heavy rain threat. Isolated tornadoes possible with any discrete storms that fire ahead of the front. Tampa, Florida, Monday afternoon into evening, 3 to 8. Wind and rain, Miami, Florida. The front will weaken significantly by the time it reaches South Florida. Tuesday, mainly just some showers and gusty winds. Not a major severe threat, but a noticeable change in weather. Pensacola, Florida, Monday morning, 5 to 10 in the morning. The squall line remnants from Sunday night, Panama City, Florida. Monday morning, 6 to 11 in the morning. Now let me take you to the other side of the country because what is happening in the West is in many ways the most extraordinary part of this entire forecast. Event number 3, the historic heat dome. While half the country is getting pounded by severe storms and buried by blizzards, the western United States is about to experience something that has never happened before in recorded history. A massive heat dome is going to park itself over the desert Southwest, Southern California, and the Great Basin. And it is going to stay there for 10 to 14 days. Let me put this in perspective. In 137 years of record keeping, Phoenix, Arizona has never hit 100 degrees before March 26th. The earliest it has ever reached the century mark was March 26, 1988. Next week, Phoenix is forecast to hit 103 on Wednesday, 105 on Thursday, and possibly 107 on Friday, 107 degrees Fahrenheit in March. That is a temperature that Phoenix normally does not see until mid-June. Los Angeles already hit 95 degrees on Thursday and 98 degrees on Friday, coming within 1 degree of the all-time March record that was set in 1879, 147 years ago. And next week, Los Angeles could hit 100 degrees in March. That has never happened. Las Vegas has never in its history reached triple digits before May 1st. Next week, Las Vegas is forecast to hit 100 degrees, shattering the record by over a month. Death Valley is forecast to hit 108 degrees next Wednesday. That would not just break the record for the earliest 100-degree reading. It would obliterate the record for the earliest 105-degree reading, which was set on April 1, 1966. We are talking about destroying a 60-year-old record by 2 weeks. Here is your West Coast and Southwest city-by-city temperature forecast. Phoenix, Arizona, Monday 98 degrees. Tuesday 101, Wednesday 103, Thursday 105, Friday 107, Saturday 105. This is midsummer heat in mid-March. If you are elderly, if you have health conditions, if you work outdoors, this is genuinely dangerous. Stay hydrated. Check on your neighbors. Limit outdoor activity between 10 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon. Tucson, Arizona. Highs climbing into the upper 90s by midweek. 95 on Tuesday, 98 on Wednesday, 100 on Thursday. Flagstaff, Arizona. Even at high elevation, temperatures will be in the upper 70s, roughly 25 degrees above normal. Yuma, Arizona, 105 to 108 degrees midweek. This is among the hottest spots in the country. Las Vegas, Nevada, Monday 95, Tuesday 97, Wednesday 99, Thursday 101, Friday 100. Historic heat for this city. Reno, Nevada, temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and low 80s. This is shorts and t-shirt weather in a city that should still be seeing occasional snow in March. Los Angeles, California, 95 to 100 degrees through next week. Record-breaking heat day after day. The National Weather Service is warning of increasing heat stress with each passing day. This is a long-duration event, not a one-day spike. San Diego, California, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s. Beach weather in March, but the heat could be dangerous for inland areas. Palm Springs, California, 105 to 110 degrees. Classic desert heat, but a month and a half early. Bakersfield, California, 95 to 100 degrees. Fresno, California, low to mid-90s. Sacramento, California, mid to upper 80s, about 20 degrees above normal. San Jose, California, mid-80s, unusually warm for the Bay Area. San Francisco, California, upper 70s to low 80s. This might not sound extreme, but for San Francisco, this is unheard of in March. Riverside, California, 95 to 102 degrees. San Bernardino, California, same as Riverside, 95 to 102. Santa Barbara, California, upper 80s. Ventura, California, upper 80s. Oxnard, California, mid to upper 80s. Death Valley, California, 105 to 108 degrees, shattering all-time March records. Salt Lake City, Utah, mid-70s this week, climbing into the upper 70s and low 80s by midweek. Monthly records could fall. The normal high for mid-March in Salt Lake City is the upper 40s. St. George, Utah, mid to upper 90s, approaching 100 by late in the week. Provo, Utah, upper 70s, about 30 degrees above normal. Denver, Colorado. Here is a wild one. Denver could surge into the upper 80s and possibly hit 90 degrees later next week. The earliest 90-degree day in Denver history was April 30th, 1992. If Denver hits 90, that record gets obliterated by more than a month. Colorado Springs, Colorado, mid-80s. Extremely unusual for this altitude and time of year. Albuquerque, New Mexico, low to mid-80s, about 20 degrees above normal. Santa Fe, New Mexico, mid-70s, warm and dry. El Paso, Texas, upper 90s, approaching 100 by Thursday. Boise, Idaho, low to mid-70s, very warm for mid-March. Portland, Oregon, upper 60s to low 70s. The heat dome is not as intense this far north, but it is still noticeably above average. Seattle, Washington, mid to upper 60s, comfortable and pleasant but above average. Spokane, Washington, low 70s, nice weather, but the warm temperatures are contributing to rapid snowmelt in the Cascades. Medford, Oregon, low to mid-80s, significantly above average. Bend, Oregon, low 70s. The snowpack in the Oregon Cascades is already below average, and this warmth is going to accelerate the melt. Eugene, Oregon, upper 60s to low 70s, above average but not dangerous. Redding, California, low to mid-90s. Fire weather concerns are elevated. Chico, California, low 90s. Modesto, California, low 90s, Stockton, California, low 90s, Oakland, California, mid-80s, unusually warm for the East Bay, Santa Rosa, California, mid-80s, Napa, California, upper 80s. Wine country is going to feel like summer, Paso Robles, California, low to mid-90s. The Central Coast interior heats up dramatically. Santa Maria, California, low 80s along the coast. Inland areas will be hotter. Now for the Intermountain West and Mountain States. Bozeman, Montana, upper 50s to low 60s. Not extreme, but above average. Snowmelt accelerating. Missoula, Montana, low 60s. A beautiful week for western Montana, but concerning for snowpack. Helena, Montana, upper 50s. Billings, Montana, upper 60s. 20 degrees above normal. Casper, Wyoming, upper 60s, above average. Cheyenne, Wyoming, mid-70s, warm and dry with fire concerns. Jackson Hole, Wyoming, upper 50s to low 60s. The ski season may effectively end a month early. Twin Falls, Idaho, mid-70s. Pocatello, Idaho, low 70s. Idaho Falls, Idaho, low 70s. Very warm for mid-March at this elevation. Great Falls, Montana, upper 50s. Chinook winds could boost temperatures even higher. Grand Junction, Colorado, mid to upper 80s. This is stunning heat for mid-March in western Colorado. Durango, Colorado, upper 70s. The San Juan snowpack, already critically low, is going to take another devastating hit. Pueblo, Colorado, upper 80s. Fort Collins, Colorado, mid-80s. Fire weather conditions are critical with the heat and dry conditions. Now let me tell you something about the human impact of this heat dome that goes beyond just the temperature numbers. The National Weather Service office in Los Angeles issued an extraordinary statement saying that because this heat wave is so early in the season, people are not acclimated to it. Your body adjusts to heat over time. It takes about 2 weeks of regular heat exposure for your body to fully acclimate. When you go from typical March temperatures in the 60s and 70s to sudden triple-digit heat, your body is not prepared. This is why early season heat waves can be more dangerous than midsummer heat waves, even when the temperatures are lower. The people most at risk are the elderly, young children, those with chronic medical conditions like heart disease and diabetes, outdoor workers, people who exercise outdoors, and anyone without air conditioning. If you know someone in the Southwest who falls into any of these categories, call them. Check on them. Make sure they have a cool place to go. Make sure they have water. This is a 10 to 14-day event. The cumulative effect of day after day of extreme heat is what makes this so dangerous. And there is another dimension to this heat dome that I need to address because it has long-term implications for tens of millions of people. Water. The Colorado River Basin supplies drinking water and irrigation water to roughly 40 million people across 7 states: California, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, and New Mexico. The snowpack in the mountains that feeds the Colorado River system is already at critically low levels after what was just confirmed as the warmest winter on record across much of the western United States. This heat dome is going to melt what little snowpack remains at an accelerated rate. Instead of a slow, steady melt through May and June that keeps rivers flowing and reservoirs filling, we are going to get a rapid flash melt in March and April that sends water rushing down too fast for reservoirs to capture efficiently. And then, when summer arrives, there will be almost nothing left to melt. Climate scientist Daniel Swain has warned that April 1st snowpack measurements, which are the benchmark for Western water supply forecasts, could be the worst on record across many, if not most, Western watersheds. What does that mean in practical terms? It means water restrictions this summer. It means higher water bills. It means conversations about rationing. It means the farmers in California Central Valley and the ranchers in the Colorado River Basin are looking at a very difficult growing season. It means Lake Mead and Lake Powell, the 2 largest reservoirs in the country, could see further declines at a time when they are already at historically low levels. I am not telling you this to cause panic. I am telling you this because this heat dome is not just a week of hot weather. It is an event with cascading consequences that will play out over the next 6 months. And the people who live in the western United States need to start thinking about water conservation now, not in July when the crisis is already here. Now, here is why this heat dome matters beyond just being uncomfortable. This extreme heat is going to cause rapid snowmelt across the entire western mountain system. The Sierra Nevada, the the Rocky Mountains, the Cascades. Snow that was supposed to stick around until May or June and slowly melt, feeding rivers and reservoirs through the summer, is going to melt in a matter of days. Climate scientist Daniel Swain has warned that April 1st snowpack measurements across the West could be the lowest on record. And the Colorado River Basin, which supplies water to 40 million people in 7 states, is going to see its water crisis get significantly worse. But that is a longer-term concern. In the short term, the heat dome means elevated wildfire risk, especially in Colorado's Front Range, where strong winds are already a concern. And for the millions of people across the Southwest who are not acclimated to this kind of heat in March, heat-related illness is a real danger. Now, let me circle back and give you the remaining cities I have not covered yet, because I promised you over 270 locations and I intend to deliver. For the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley region, here is what Tuesday and Wednesday look like after the storm passes. Cleveland, Ohio. The squall line pushes through Monday evening roughly 6 to 10 at night. By Tuesday morning, temperatures crash into the 20s. Wind chills in the teens. Columbus, Ohio. Storms Monday afternoon into evening, 3 to 7. Temperature drop Tuesday morning into the 20s, Cincinnati, Ohio. Storms Monday late morning into afternoon, noon to 5, then the flash freeze, Toledo, Ohio. Storm Sunday night, 11 to 3 in the morning, Monday. Then cold and wind, Akron, Ohio. Monday evening, 5 to 9. Cold follows, Dayton, Ohio. Monday afternoon, 1 to 5. Flash freeze overnight, Detroit, Michigan. Storms sweep through Monday morning, roughly 7 to 11 in the morning. Then bitter cold and possible lake effect snow bands Tuesday. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Storms Sunday night into Monday morning. Then 6 to 12 inches of lake effect snow possible Tuesday and Wednesday. Lansing, Michigan. Same timeline. Sunday night through Monday morning. Lake effect snow to follow. Flint, Michigan. Monday morning. Storms then cold. Saginaw, Michigan. Monday morning into afternoon. Then lake effect possibilities. Traverse City, Michigan. Heavy snow from the main storm Sunday into Monday, then additional lake effect. Total accumulations could exceed 20 inches, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Storm Sunday night, 9 to 1 in the morning Monday. Then cold, South Bend, Indiana. Heavy snow and lake effect, 15 to 20 inches total possible through Wednesday. Bloomington, Indiana. Storm Sunday night, 8 to midnight, Muncie, Indiana. Sunday night into Monday morning, Rockford, Illinois. Storms Sunday evening, 5 to 9. Then cold and wind, Decatur, Illinois. Storms Sunday afternoon and evening 4 to 8, Quincy, Illinois. Sunday afternoon 3 to 7, now for the Northern Plains and Upper Midwest cold forecast, Omaha, Nebraska. After the storm passes Sunday evening, temperatures plummet. Tuesday morning, low of 8 degrees. Wind chill below 0, Kansas City, Missouri. Storm Sunday afternoon, then a temperature crash. Tuesday morning, low in the teens. Wichita, Kansas. Not in the heaviest storm zone, but the cold front passage will bring gusty winds Sunday evening. Tuesday morning, low around 20, Topeka, Kansas. Storm Sunday afternoon. Tuesday morning, low in the teens, Lincoln, Nebraska. Storm Sunday, then cold. Tuesday, low around 5 degrees, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. South of the heaviest action but gusty winds Sunday and a dramatic temperature drop, dropping from the 60s into the 20s, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Similar story. Gusty winds Sunday, then cold, Dallas, Texas. Not in the severe risk area for this round, but the cold front will push through Monday morning. Temperatures dropping 30 to 40 degrees in 24 hours, San Antonio, Texas. Cold front arrives Monday. Temperatures dropping into the 30s by Tuesday morning after being near 80 on Sunday, Austin, Texas. Same dramatic drop, near 80 to the 30s in about 36 hours, Houston, Texas. The cold front arrives Monday morning. Temperatures drop from the 70s into the upper 30s by Tuesday morning. For Southeast Texas, this is a significant late-season cold snap. New Orleans, Louisiana. Cold front pushes through Monday morning with possible storms. Then temperatures drop from the 70s into the upper 30s. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Same pattern. Storm, then cold. Now, for those of you in the Northeast who want to know about the cold, New York City. After Monday SD storms, Tuesday high only in the mid-30s. Wind chill in the teens and 20s. That is more than 50 degrees colder than it was on Wednesday of last week. Albany, New York. Tuesday high near 30. Brutally cold for mid-March. Syracuse, New York. Lake effect snow possible. 6 to 10 inches on top of whatever the main storm brings. Lows near 10 degrees Tuesday night. Buffalo, New York. Lake effect snow bands could dump 10 to 15 inches Tuesday and Wednesday. Lows in the teens, Rochester, New York. Lake effect snow. 8 to 12 inches possible. Burlington, Vermont. Tuesday high near 30. Cold and breezy. Montpelier, Vermont. 25 for a high on Tuesday. Wind chill in the teens. Concord, New Hampshire. Low 30s Tuesday with gusty winds. Manchester, New Hampshire. Same. Bangor, Maine. Mid-20s for a high on Tuesday. Feels like winter again. Portland, Maine. Near 30 on Tuesday. Now I need to pause and tell you something very important. If you live anywhere in the severe weather risk zone, and that is from Shreveport to Indianapolis on Sunday, and from the Carolinas to Baltimore on Monday, you absolutely must have multiple ways to receive weather warnings. This is not optional. This is the kind of setup where tornadoes can spin up at 3 in the morning when you are sound asleep. Here is what I need you to do right now. First, make sure your phone is set to receive wireless emergency alerts. Go into your settings, find the emergency alert section, and make sure everything is turned on. Do this right now. I will wait. Second, if you have a NOAA weather radio, make sure the batteries are fresh and it is programmed to your county. A weather radio will sound an alarm even in the middle of the night, even if your phone is on silent. Third, know where your safe room is. An interior room on the lowest floor of your home, away from windows. A closet, a bathroom under a sturdy piece of furniture. Have shoes and a flashlight next to your bed. If a tornado hits at 2 in the morning, you need to be able to move quickly through potentially broken glass and debris. Fourth, charge your devices tonight, all of them. Your phone, your tablet, a portable battery pack. When the power goes out, and for many of you it will go out, you need to be able to receive warnings and communicate. Fifth, have water and non-perishable food ready. For the blizzard areas, plan for being snowed in for 2 to 3 days. For the severe weather areas, plan for extended power outages. Sixth, if you have pets, make sure you have a plan for them too. Bring outdoor animals inside before the storms arrive. Have carriers ready for cats and small dogs so you can move them to your safe room quickly. Keep leashes accessible for larger dogs. Seventh, know your neighbors. This is especially important for the blizzard zone. If you know of elderly neighbors who live alone, check on them before the storm hits. Make sure they have food, water, medication, and heat. After the storm, check on them again. When power goes out for days in sub-zero temperatures, hypothermia can set in quickly for people who are unable to leave their homes. Eighth, for those in the blizzard zone, park your car in the garage if you have one. If you do not, clear the snow off your car as frequently as you safely can during the storm. 2 feet of heavy March snow on a car roof can cause structural damage to the vehicle. And if you have a flat roof on your home or business, that heavy wet snow is going to put an enormous load on the structure. If you can safely remove snow from a flat roof during breaks in the storm, do so. But never go on a roof during the actual blizzard. The winds will be strong enough to knock you off. Ninth, fill your gas tank today. If you are in the severe weather zone, having a full tank means you can evacuate if you need to. If you are in the blizzard zone, it means you can run your car for heat if the power goes out, as long as you clear the tailpipe of snow to prevent carbon monoxide buildup. 10th, take pictures of your property now. Photograph your home, your yard, your vehicles, your belongings. If you suffer storm damage, these photos will be invaluable for insurance claims. Do it now while everything is still intact. Let me also give you some quick numbers that put this week into historical perspective because I think context matters. The March 10th through 11th tornado outbreak earlier this week produced over 20 confirmed tornadoes across Texas, Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. At least 8 people died. That outbreak was the most widespread and impactful severe weather event of 2026 so far. What is coming Sunday through Monday has the potential to be even larger in geographic scope. The last time Minneapolis received 24 inches of snow in a single storm was back in 2012. That storm paralyzed the Twin Cities for 3 days and caused over $100 million in damage. The blizzard of 1966 dropped over 2 feet of snow across much of the upper Midwest and is still talked about to this day. This storm has the potential to rival or exceed that event in some areas. And on the heat dome side, winter 2025 through 2026 was just confirmed as the warmest on record across a huge portion of the western and central United States. This heat dome is not an isolated event. It is the exclamation point on an already historically warm winter. The records that are about to fall next week are not going to be broken by a degree or two. They are going to be shattered by 5 to 10 degrees. In some cases, records that have stood for over a century are going to be erased. Through next Monday alone, 214 daily high-temperature records could be broken or tied across the United States, with another 76 threatened. That is nearly 300 temperature records potentially falling in a single week. That is extraordinary by any measure. Now, I want to address something directly. I know that weather forecasts can sound scary, and I am not trying to frighten anyone. What I am trying to do is make sure you are informed and prepared. The vast majority of you are going to get through this week just fine. These storms are dangerous, but they are survivable if you take them seriously and prepare properly. The people who get hurt in weather events are almost always the people who did not take the warnings seriously, who did not have a plan, who were caught off guard. Do not be caught off guard this week. You have the information now. Use it. And here is one more thing I want you to do. Drop a comment right now telling me where you are watching from, your city and your state. I am going to be monitoring the comments and providing additional forecasts and updates for specific locations. If you want a detailed breakdown for your exact area, let me know in the comments and I will get back to you. Now let me give you a quick summary of the week because I know I have covered a lot of ground and I want to make sure the key points stick. Sunday, March 15th, severe weather outbreak across the South and Midwest. Enhanced risk from Shreveport to Indianapolis. Tornadoes, hurricane-force winds, and a dangerous nighttime squall line. Simultaneously, a life-threatening blizzard buries the upper Midwest from Minneapolis to Marquette with up to 41 inches of snow and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Monday, March 16th, severe weather shifts to the East Coast. Enhanced risk for the Carolinas, Virginia, and southern Pennsylvania. Dangerous squall line with 60 to 70 mile-per-hour winds and possible tornadoes. Monday evening commutes from Raleigh to Baltimore will be extremely dangerous. Behind the front, a flash freeze grips the Ohio Valley. Tuesday, March 17th, Arctic cold invades the Midwest and East. Minneapolis, 42 degrees below average, single digits below zero, wind chills of -20 to -30. Lake effect snow buries areas east of the Great Lakes. Meanwhile, the heat dome intensifies over the Southwest. Wednesday through Friday, March 18th through 20th. The heat dome reaches peak intensity. Phoenix hits 105 to 107 degrees. Los Angeles approaches 100. Las Vegas reaches triple digits for the first time before May in its history. Denver could flirt with 90. The East slowly moderates but remains below average. The weekend of March 21st and 22nd. The heat dome begins a slow retreat in the Southwest, but temperatures remain well above average across the entire western half of the country. The East continues to moderate, with temperatures returning closer to normal. That is the forecast. That is what is coming. Now you know. And knowing is the single most important factor in staying safe during severe weather. If this breakdown was helpful to you, please share it with someone you care about who lives in one of these affected areas. Forward this to your family in Nashville. Send it to your parents in Minneapolis. Share it with your friend in Phoenix. Information saves lives. And right now, there are a lot of people who need this information. I am going to be here all day tomorrow covering the severe weather in real time. So make sure you come back for the latest updates because these forecasts can and do change, and I will have the most up-to-date information as these storms unfold. And I need to tell you about something that is developing for later next week that almost nobody is talking about yet. Behind this heat dome, there are signals in the extended forecast that suggest a dramatic pattern reversal could bring the heat dome crashing down and replace it with a potentially significant storm system for the West Coast. It is too early for specific details, but if that happens, we could be looking at another round of dramatic weather whiplash, this time in the opposite direction. I will have the full breakdown on that in my next update, so make sure you do not miss it. And let me tell you why that potential pattern change matters so much. All of this rapid snowmelt happening right now under the heat dome is sending water downstream fast. If a significant storm system rolls into the West Coast on top of all that runoff, we could be dealing with flooding concerns on top of everything else. Rivers that are normally well-behaved in March could see rapid rises from both the snowmelt and any new precipitation. The Sacramento River System, the San Joaquin, The Colorado tributaries, even the smaller coastal creeks in Southern California, could become flashpoints. Burn scar areas from recent wildfires, including the devastating Los Angeles fires from earlier this year, would be especially vulnerable to debris flows and mudslides if heavy rain falls on those exposed hillsides. Now, I also want to address something that I have been seeing in the comments of my recent videos. A lot of you are asking whether this kind of extreme weather is becoming more common, and the honest answer is yes. The data is clear on that. The jet stream patterns that produce these kinds of extreme events, where you have record cold and record heat existing side by side with violent storms in between, these patterns have become more frequent and more intense. Whether you call it climate change, weather whiplash, or just a changing atmosphere, the practical result is the same. Americans in every region of the country need to be better prepared for weather extremes than they were 10 or 20 years ago. That does not mean every storm is going to be a disaster. Most of the time you prepare and the storm passes and life goes on. But the frequency of these high-impact events is increasing, and the people who fare best are the ones who take every warning seriously and prepare every single time. It is like wearing a seatbelt. You do not wear it because you expect to crash every time you drive. You wear it because the one time something goes wrong, it saves your life. So treat this week the same way. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best, and stay informed. Let me also quickly address something for the ranchers and farmers out there, because agricultural impacts from this week are going to be significant. If you have livestock in the blizzard zone, get them to shelter now. Newborn calves and lambs are extremely vulnerable to blizzard conditions. In the severe weather zone, secure any equipment or structures that could be damaged by 75-mile-per-hour winds. And in the heat dome zone, make sure your animals have access to shade and fresh water. Heat stress on livestock in March is not something most ranchers have to plan for, but this is not a normal March. For the gardeners and home growers, if you jumped the gun and planted early spring vegetables in the Midwest or East, cover them. The freeze that is coming Tuesday and Wednesday is going to kill anything that is not protected. In the Southwest, the extreme heat could stress young plants. Water deeply in the early morning and provide shade cloth if you can. Remember, comment below with your city and state, and I will make sure you get a personalized forecast update. Stay safe out there, America. This is going to be one of the most memorable weather weeks in recent history, and I want every single one of you to get through it safely. Now go charge your phones, check your supplies, and tell your neighbors. The storms are coming and the clock is ticking. And one final thought before I sign off. I want to run through a quick checklist for each region so you know your top priorities right now. If you are in the Sunday severe weather zone, meaning anywhere from Shreveport to Indianapolis and the surrounding areas, your top priorities right now are to charge all devices, identify your safe room, make sure weather alerts are activated on your phone, and have a flashlight and shoes next to your bed tonight. The storms are coming overnight and you need to be ready to move in the dark. If you are in the blizzard zone, meaning Minneapolis to Marquette and surrounding areas, your top priorities right now are to get groceries and supplies for 3 days, fill your gas tank, park your car somewhere protected if possible, and check on elderly or vulnerable neighbors. You are going to be snowed in. Accept that now and prepare accordingly. If you are in the Monday East Coast severe weather zone, meaning the Carolinas through Virginia and Maryland, your top priorities are to make a plan for Monday afternoon. Can you leave work early? Can you work from home? Can you adjust your commute to avoid being on the road during the 4 to 8 in the evening window when storms will be at their peak? One simple scheduling change could keep you out of harm's way. If you are in the heat dome zone, meaning the entire Southwest from Phoenix to Los Angeles to Las Vegas to Denver, your top priorities are to check your air conditioning now, stock up on water, limit outdoor activity during peak heat hours, and check on elderly neighbors and family members daily throughout this extended heat event. That is it. That is your complete guide to one of the most extraordinary weather weeks in recent American history. 3 disasters, 1 country, 180 million people affected. You now know more about what is coming than 90